Fisker was once seen as a serious rival to Tesla, with eye-catching designs, high ambitions, and bold promises. But just 2 years after launching their first model, Fisker Ocean, this company, which was once valued at $2.9 billion, went bankrupt. For many, Fisker became front-page news when MKBHD, the world's biggest tech YouTuber, called Ocean the worst car he had ever reviewed.
I think it's just the worst car I've ever tested.
But by the time MKBHD review dropped, the company had already lost 94% of its share value, was on the brink of collapse, and was even delisted from New York Stock Exchange within a month. Just 4 months later, Fisker officially filed for bankruptcy.
Thank you for everyone here that is following us, investing in us, believing in us, buying our cars.
In this video, I will break down Fisker's finances, their business case, production plans, the critical missteps, indecisiveness, wrong priorities, family involvement, and external factors such as Elon Musk's involvement.
Curiously enough, the designs that he worked on were terrible.
Leading up to the infamous MKBHD review and its aftermath.
This is the weirdest car I've ever tried.
That paved the way for Fisker's downfall. For entrepreneurs and EV enthusiasts alike, Fisker's journey offers valuable lessons. So let's discuss Fisker's rise and fall. Henrik Fisker, a visionary designer with 30 years of experience, has left a lasting mark on the automotive industry. Renowned for his iconic designs like BMW Z8, Aston Martin V8 Vantage, and DB9, he is also known to take big risks. In 2007, he took a bold leap by founding Fisker Automotive, unveiling the Karma and Atlantic. Unfortunately, this venture faced various challenges and ultimately failed in 2011. Undeterred by failures, in 2016, Henrik Fisker made a comeback. Learning from his past mistakes and setting the sights on the next big thing, electric vehicles. He envisioned two models, a luxury car to compete with the Tesla Model S and an affordable one to compete with Tesla Model 3, both targeting a 400-mile range. In 2016, Henrik Fisker set out to produce a luxury electric car by 2019 known as Emotion, with a price tag of $129,000, equipped with solid-state batteries. But later, considering he could not plan a car with solid-state battery and seeing a lot of potential in the growing SUV segment, he scrapped the Emotion project by 2021 and in 2020 gave an investor presentation solely focusing on Fisker Ocean electric SUV. And in 2020, Fisker went public with an estimated value of $2.9 billion on the New York Stock Exchange. The car featured a striking design, a minimalistic yet elegant interior, and attractive specs: 564 horsepower, 737 Newton meters, or 543 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.9 seconds, and a large 106 kilowatt-hours net battery, offering a 360-mile EPA or 707 kilometers WLTP range with 10 to 80% charging time in 35 minutes, capable to charge with a peak of 170 kilowatts using a fast DC charger. This range is quite impressive considering Fisker's original vision of 400-mile car in 2016 was a luxurious aerodynamic sedan, but to achieve 360 miles EPA range with an electric SUV is an even bigger accomplishment. The owners really liked the style of the car and the features that were to come with it.
Long range, which has proven to be pretty good, right? If you know how to drive the car, it pretty much holds accurate to its range.
From a design and fit and finish and feel, they met or in some cases exceeded my expectations.
Even I got a chance to drive Oceans through the city and the highways, and it gave a solid impression. So with all this praise, how did Fisker end up being labeled the worst car ever reviewed? What went so wrong? Despite receiving 65,000 pre-orders with a production plan in 2022, Fisker's execution faltered. They aimed to sell 42,000 Fisker Ocean in 2023, but produced only 11,193 units, selling around 6,400, while 4,793 remain in the inventory. Poor planning, logistical and operational challenges, and the rising interest rates forced Fisker to repeatedly slash their forecasts. This decline, coupled with the challenges listed later in the video, ultimately pushed the company to bankruptcy. Let's dive into the details, the positive, the missteps, and the challenges that ultimately led to their downfall. Fisker, during the second time, had a great vision to build environment-friendly and sustainable electric vehicles. From design all the way up to interiors, sustainable concepts and materials were utilized. The designs were truly breathtaking, and the customer relationship with the early adopters was phenomenal. To enable the sales, Fisker was striking strategic partnerships, for example with Allego in Europe, due to which one could get up to 1 year of free fast charging. In a dynamic automotive market, startups must strike a balance between strategy and adaptability. And Fisker on multiple occasions proved that he was able to adjust to the changing conditions. While Fisker's vision and adaptability were undoubtedly impressive, the road to success is often paved with strategic choices. And not all of Fisker's bets paid off. Unfortunately, the list of missteps is longer than the list of successes, and they ultimately overshadowed the positives. Battery technology. High hopes, disappointing results. Fisker's Emotion was envisioned as a 400-mile range luxury car, but the core issue was choosing the right battery technology. Back in 2016, battery innovation was still evolving. Fisker initially explored graphene-enhanced supercapacitors, hoping to combine faster charging and better storage. However, this technology proved unviable for automotive applications. In 2017, Fisker opted for solid-state batteries in partnership with SACTI3, making very bold claims such as
Which is solid-state battery technology, which this allows you to charge in 1 minute and get more than 700 miles if you want into a vehicle.
Whoa, hold on a second, Henrik. I've got to repeat that. You just held up a new battery system, and you're telling me that a 1 minute charge gets you a 500-mile range with that brand new technology.
But this vision fell apart, compounded by the lawsuit with QuantumScape, a Volkswagen-backed company, overhiring one of their employees and acquiring sensitive information. The legal fallout cost Fisker heavily. By 2019, realizing that solid-state batteries were not ready for commercialization, he abandoned this idea and embraced the conventional lithium-ion batteries that everyone else was using. Production plans, a costly shuffle. Production proved to be another major hurdle. Fisker at first planned to produce Emotion in-house, mirroring his earlier attempt with Fisker Karma at the Delaware plant. A strategy that had failed disastrously for low-volume cars, as it is a daunting task requiring huge investments and supply chain management, which Elon Musk describes as production hell.
In terms of the factory, we have already been out and sourced all the components we need in this factory. We're looking at existing buildings. We're talking to 8 different states about it, and we hope definitely to close a deal on this factory within the coming month.
At 2019, with the Emotion scrap, Fisker moved his focus towards SUV market, aiming to develop the affordable Fisker Ocean, targeted for the mass market. But this time, for Fisker Ocean, the idea was not to produce the car in-house, rather to opt for asset-light strategy or contract manufacturing like iPhone as it is produced by Foxconn. His initial plan was to collaborate with Volkswagen and leverage their MEB platform. The charm of using Volkswagen MEB platform for Fisker Ocean was it could allow Fisker to enter the market in half the time with half of the cost. However, this deal fell through by late 2020. Potentially some part of it was influenced by QuantumScape lawsuit, but more importantly, it is important to note that working with major OEMs is not easy. It often requires rigid contractual terms, with heavy penalties making direct collaboration very difficult and challenging. For example, Volkswagen and Renault deal to produce cheaper 20,000 electric vehicle also collapsed. As a last-ditch attempt, Fisker turned towards Magna. Magna, with its proven track record of producing 3.7 million cars in total, including the Mercedes G-Wagon from 1979 up till yet, offered a reliable manufacturing solution. However, the production target still remained 2022, and to keep it, Fisker decided to use Magna's EV platform, co-developed by Magna and Chinese Bike. But this presented major challenges. Unlike Volkswagen MEB platform, which was already released and tested in Europe and US, Magna's EV platform required significant changes to meet regulatory standards in EU and US. With limited resources, Fisker had to prioritize tasks among many open items, causing delays in design adjustments, testing, and homologation. To stay on track with production schedule, Fisker released cars with incomplete software and ADAS features, including lane keep assistance, blind spot monitoring, automatic high beams, power bank package for vehicle-to-home and vehicle-to-vehicle charging, with a promise to deliver these features over the coming 2 years, which eroded customers' trust. Changing the sales model. Fisker planned to pursue direct-to-customer strategy, similar as Tesla, and cutting the middleman, the dealerships. They had very ambitious plans via app where customers could configure, purchase a car, and schedule the services. On paper, it looked like a brilliant strategy, but when it comes to reality, this strategy became the absolute bottleneck for Fisker. Robust operations were necessary, and having control of every step, including port clearance, was crucial. However, the execution fell drastically short. Cars arriving at ports experienced significant delays due to paperwork issues, including temporary incorrect DMV plates. Some customers waited up to 3 months for their cars after port arrival. In 2024, planning to save the business, Fisker moved towards dealership model, planning to onboard up to 100 dealers in Europe and US to generate an influx of money, but it came at a cost. According to Raymond James, under the direct sales model, the estimated gross margin without depreciation and amortization of Fisker reaches a maximum of 18% at the peak of ocean deliveries, that is 60,000 cars per year. However, transitioning to dealership models means sacrificing some of the profitable service business margin and giving out special prices for the dealers. I do not have the insights, but I believe the gross margin should lie between 10 to 15% of the dealership model, a very thin gross margin to sustain. Downturn in e-mobility and external factors. The period during which Fisker produced Fisker Ocean was fraught with challenges. Fisker's focus on the SUV market was a calculated move, as they had been growing in popularity since 2013 and had been dominating the sales by 2020.
In 2019, I think he told first time about the car. Okay, we will bring an SUV for the mass market under $40,000 on the streets. SUVs are the most sold segment in the electric car market. I also think in the fuel market also. Last year in 2023 alone in Europe, I think around 50 or 55% of all cars sold were only SUVs.
Fisker aimed to capture this opportunity by competitively pricing Fisker Ocean between $37,000 to $70,000 and highly competitive leasing offers at only $379 per month. The base trim was projected to deliver a 5% gross margin, the mid-tier at 17%, and the extreme version was projected to deliver at least 33% gross margin. However, this business model was contingent on leveraging Volkswagen MEB platform, which never materialized. The external environment further compounded these challenges. The pandemic brought widespread shutdowns in the automotive sector. By 2021, the raw material prices skyrocketed. By 2022, semiconductor shortages led to lead times of up to 14 months for new cars. The global conflict in 2022 fueled inflation, prompting significant interest rates hike in 2023. These economic shifts dampened the demand for new cars and made competitive leasing rates untenable. Adding to the pressure, the largest and the most profitable EV manufacturer slashed its prices up to 20% in 2023. While Tesla could absorb the loss, the move from Volkswagen MEB platform to Magna's EV platform added further strain, making it nearly impossible for Fisker to sustain profitability amidst the rising cost and increased competition. Ambition and realism. In 2023, even before the mass production of Fisker Ocean began, Fisker ambitiously announced 3 new models: the PEAR, Alaska, and the RONIN. The PEAR, a budget EV priced below $30,000, and Alaska, a mid-size pickup truck expected to cost around $55,000, was slated for production by 2025, with plans to penetrate the US, Europe, Chinese, and Indian market. Fisker also envisioned building their own factory to reduce over-reliance on contract manufacturers. While bold, this approach diluted focus and misallocated the resources. Developing 4 models simultaneously without delivering a fully functional flagship model first was a significant misstep. Launching in multiple global markets at once further complicated matters, especially given the stringent homologation requirements in each region. A phased strategy concentrating on perfecting Fisker Ocean would have been far more manageable. Fisker set an ambitious target to produce 1 million vehicles annually by 2027. While Alaska, based on existing Fisker Ocean Magna's EV platform, might feasibly ramp up production by 2026, but the PEAR's timelines seem unrealistic. Foxconn, the renowned iPhone manufacturer, but with no automotive experience, was tasked to produce PEAR, expecting a seamless development and ramp-up of a vehicle with an inexperienced partner. All within 2 to 3 years defied all industry norms. Using Fisker's ideal projection, they were targeting to generate a revenue of $42 billion by 2027. However, based on my experience with automotive forecasts from IHS, a highly reliable source for predicting OEM production figures, the proposed ramp-up of Fisker was unprecedented and wholly unrealistic. It contradicted every ramp-up scenario I've encountered in this industry, and I would have estimated a 55% lower value at $19 billion by 2027. This is not only my estimate. According to the reports from Raymond James, one of the largest and most reputable financial firms, they estimated positive EBITDA by 2025. Contingent on the success of PEAR and Alaska projects, along with Fisker Ocean reaching 40,000 cars by 2024. Whereas Fisker, on the other hand, during the investor presentations, expected a positive cash flow already by 2023, 3 years earlier. Overambitious or lying. Fisker faces a common challenge: overcommitment. The question is, did he genuinely believe his overambitious promises, or was it borderline vaporware? Interestingly, Fisker is not alone in this struggle.
So I and many other very optimistic people have been waiting for the new Tesla Roadster to be the first reasonable two-door electric sports car ever since it was unveiled 5 years ago in 2017. And then 2020 came and went, and it was a bit of a weird year, so then 2021 happened. Still nothing. Now it's 2022. This car is probably not coming out till 2024 at least.
In my experience, every OEM aims to gain an advantage by advertising higher numbers, even if they aren't achievable under real-life conditions. Tesla is often mentioned in this context. Family involvement and toxic work environment. Involving family members in key roles at Fisker proved to be disastrous. Despite lacking relevant automotive industry experience, Henrik Fisker appointed his wife, Geeta Fisker, at the role of CFO, and his daughter, Natasha Fisker, to lead marketing. Geeta's management style reportedly created a toxic work environment, marked by intimidation and high employee turnover. Critical production and design issues were downplayed, and suppliers were chosen based on speed and cost, often against expert advice. Marketing efforts also raised eyebrows, with certain platforms such as Fiskerati and certain Twitter handles promoting overly positive Fisker news, until the decline of Fisker became evident, at which point they distanced themselves entirely from Fisker. Poor planning for customer relationship and service. Fisker's initial service efforts impressed early adopters, with personalized gestures such as delivering a car to the customer's wedding after delays.
One of the really amazing things that the Fisker team did was, because my car was supposed to be delivered in time for my wedding, which was last August, and they missed that delivery window. Henrik sent one of the executives from Fisker up to our wedding with a car, so that we would have one to be able to drive folks around for that weekend. So that was just a sign of what they were trying to do as an organization in terms of really building a consumer base that was attached to the brand and invested in it.
However, as the customer base grew, service quality plummeted due to poor planning and limited resources. In the investor presentation, Fisker introduced a company Cox or Pivot Group to take over the Fisker fleet services, but perhaps it did not materialize. Geeta Fisker's decision to handle service inquiries via chatbots was a failure. The bots often misunderstood basic questions, leaving customers even more frustrated. To resolve these outstanding service issues, Prelude system was brought on later in October 2023, but they were let go 3 months later with little improvement to service quality responses for the end customers. Another complaint from the customer was that the cars were delivered without any explanation or operating instructions. A practical solution would have been an app-based manual listing all the instructions and also the features, known bugs, and expected timelines for their fixes. Delivering incomplete vehicle and wrong priorities. Delivering vehicles to customer with incomplete software and insufficient testing was a costly mistake for Fisker. The first one, solar roof. On paper, solar roof represent a remarkable innovation, but they underperform in reality. Fisker remains the sole provider of offering solar roof on the automotive vehicle.
Our solar roof can give you over 3,000 kilometers a year in ideal conditions.
However, in reality, even the slightest shade from trees, buildings, or clouds cause the production to plummet to 0%. As per my research, one could achieve a maximum output of 400 miles per year, 70% less than the claimed 1,500 miles, offering a savings benefit of only $44 annually. The mismatch between Fisker's marketing and the real-life condition hurt its credibility. Software and engineering issues. As the automotive industry transitions from traditional manufacturing to technology-driven solutions, for example, autonomous driving and bidirectional charging, it is not common for hardware to be ready, but software lags behind. Fisker faced this very issue, and they weren't alone.
VW, Porsche, with the Carrier software, they had to postpone their Q6 e-tron and also the Porsche Macan for more than a year because of the software problem.
Unfortunately for Fisker, they did not have the luxury to delay production. I still cannot understand Fisker's decision to not include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, simple features that enhance user-friendliness. Among the Fisker challenges, two stand out, and both are related to software. Instead of the traditional 2 key fobs, the customer only received one. The reason? Fisker aimed to use app as a key, but it was delayed on the other hand. And the only solution remaining, the single key fob, its battery used to drain within 4 to 8 weeks, posing a major inconvenience for the users. And the most damaging issue was the phantom drain due to the 12-volt battery. What is phantom drain? Where even the cars that were parked outside were losing significant charge. There are even reports of losing 15 miles a night just by parking a car.
So let's say when I stop, the car has a, it's like at 75%. When I come in the next morning and I start it up again and I get ready to go, it'll probably be more like 71 or 70%. That means that by default, every day that I park the car at the house, I'm going to lose 15 miles of range, right? Which is power, which again has a cost, right? If you look at it, right? So the car costs me just to keep it sitting in the drive.
These reports of losing 15 miles of range overnight tarnish customers' trust in Fisker. Gladly for some customers, this issue was resolved by battery chain and software 2.0, while others have seen improvement but still grapple with this issue. The delayed rollout of software for promised features was another area that was overlooked and sadly resulted in the decline of Fisker. MKBHD impact on Fisker. Let's address the elephant in the room. Did MKBHD deal a fatal blow to Fisker? Yes. Was it an honest review? Yes. Was it his best review? No. As someone who has followed MKBHD for a decade, I deeply appreciate his informative videos and unbiased reviews, but for this particular review, it fell short in my opinion due to two reasons. First, the focus largely centered on outdated Fisker software, which is fair, yet two critical aspects were absent. First, there was no mention of consumption. How accurate was the 360-mile EPA range, and what was the charging curve like? Second, considering the target audience, most Fisker Ocean buyers intended to use it as a second car, and they were aware of the associated risk and the ongoing software issues. The second review, which was posted 1.5 months later, addressed these issues, but the damage was already done. But the real villain in this situation? The phantom drain. George Saliba from J&S Mitsubishi lent his Fisker Ocean to MKBHD for the review. Initially, he was quite excited about having Fisker Ocean at his dealership until a major setback. The first ever Fisker Ocean he received was stuck on the trailer due to complete phantom drain.
I've had a Fisker dead sitting in this spot over here, right here, for 1 whole month. Fisker flew someone out. They tried to fix it. They couldn't fix it. So how do we fix it?
The 12-volt battery.
How many times?
Twice.
While Fisker tried to repair this issue, the problem with phantom drain, it is quite persistent, and this persistent issue eroded the optimism of George Saliba. Perhaps with a hint of schadenfreude, he posted his call with Fisker service rep about MKBHD review on his TikTok, which became his highest watched TikTok video, further tarnishing Fisker's image.
He's blowing up social media. He's got all the senior management from Gear to Fisker down.
Because he's talking crap on the Fisker, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's my Fisker.
This complete saga, MKBHD viral review, followed by this leaked conversation, left Fisker with no chances of comeback, and sadly it resulted in its bankruptcy. Final words. Henrik Fisker excelled in designing cars, leading design teams, collaborating across groups to create remarkable cars. However, being a CEO demands a completely different skill set, and it is evident from this video, it was not the right role for him. Along with the plethora of wrong strategic decisions and unfortunate external factors, sadly the company went bankrupt, leaving their buyers stranded, for whom I really feel sorry, as Fisker community is one of the most tightly knit community I've got to know, with members helping each other during the time when service support was not available. If you found this video insightful, kindly like the video and share it with others. And if you're interested in automotive news and EV deep dives, kindly subscribe to my channel. Looking forward to have a meaningful conversation in the next video. Thank you and bye-bye.